So hello out there again, YouTube. I'm on a roll today. The Lord has been talking to me a lot, and pretty much I wanted to go over something that happened this morning, and I also have some videos that I have not uploaded yet. So I'm gonna see how many I can upload today because it's a very slow process. But I'm gonna get into it. So upon waking up this morning, so the Lord says that those who know His voice will hear His sheep will hear His voice. They'll know His voice, and that's one of the ways that I describe that the Lord speaks to me, as He literally just speaks to me. And upon waking up this morning, it was strange because it was like I wasn't even dreaming anything. I wasn't thinking about anything. And the Lord was just like, that there are people being cloned. And they're putting demons in these vessels. So that's terrible. When I had my son, right, so I was in between because I went from Italy to Florida, where I'm from, to Japan, right? We're military. When I was in Italy, I decided that I wanted to have my son at home because my husband was getting ready to get deployed. And I didn't want to do it alone. So I ended up deciding to go back home. After my son was born, my husband ended up coming back over there for the birth of my son. And this was in 2018, in the summertime. And when I had my son, that's when the Lord, it was prior to that. It was, that's the first time that the Lord put in a sense of urgency like never before. And then it was in October, like I always tell you guys. So I was watching about these men that were putting their sperm into eggs and creating these creatures, okay? And this is an abomination before the Lord like no other, okay? So we have that going on. And we have these creatures that are being spotted. I didn't want to go into this, but I have seen something that looks like, I kid you not, when I was about 15, 16, because my husband is like my high school sweetheart. And I was on my way to his house one morning and I saw something that looked like a pterodactyl in the sky. I kid you not. And I told him, of course, he thought I was crazy, but it looked like a dragon or something. It was way too big to be a bird. It was like the morning, but it was nighttime. You know, in the morning when it's dark and the sun is just starting to peek out. Yeah, I saw something flying in the sky that I've never seen before. The wings were unlike any other, and it had a little tail with a heart on the end. I've never seen anything like that. I kid you not. So I don't want to talk about that because I don't want to be that channel that's I don't want to be a conspiracy channel. Although I do feel like there is truth in almost anything or in almost everything. I feel like there's some truth. So I thought that was a serious thing to lay on you guys. And I saw that they're beginning to send clones amongst the people. So let's take a couple looks at that, and then I'm going to go into my next lesson. So first and foremost, I want to go over this Bible scripture right here, because this was one of the first scriptures that popped into my head when I heard that this morning. So it says, the Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterwards, when the sons of God came in to the daughters of man and bore children to them. These were the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. Okay? So this is a big indicator of, who's in charge, the elites, pretty much. So quite clearly, the elites are the men of renown. And the men of old, that's interesting. So let's go into tools. I think there's an earthquake right now. I think that's why my camera's shaking, actually. So we go into Nephilim. Now, let me tell you a secret, a mystery, okay? So, according to what I've seen thus far, Nephilim is not transferred correctly. And I'm running into this a lot because, I don't know, when I came to school and math, I just knew the math, but I could never do the work. I didn't understand it the way that the professors taught me. However, I just knew it. I don't know how to explain it. Call me a genius, I don't know. But same thing when it comes to words. I just know when a word is not broken down correctly. And there's actually a lot of scholars that argue about this Nephil right here. This root word, right? So we're going to Nephilim, right? In the Strongs, it is Nephil. And it comes from this word, which we can look up as well. It means to fail, fall, cast down, fall away. This is Yarad, which is Jared. Jared in English, or Yarad, Yared in Hebrew. So it could mean giants or it can mean fallen ones. However, this seems to stem from the Aramaic terms. And when it comes to Aramaic, it can mean greatness. Let's see, what do they say here? It could mean giant, excellent, noble, skillful. So it talks also about the fallers, the rebels, and the apostates. Okay? So it can refer to those things as well. It can also mean, according to here, a feller, a bully, a tyrant. Okay? Now, we all see this, especially today in elites. Now, although these are the very, very, very watered down definitions of the root word, because I could really break down the word right now, but I don't feel like doing that right now. But basically, if you were to look at the word as a whole, it would mean a tyrant or someone who's in charge, the elites, one that knows something that you don't know, one that's inferior, or superior in some way. So I actually feel more than anything that over time they have been able to perfect hiding the giant DNA or the Nephilim DNA. So on to the next site, right? So right here, this is a lie, but we have in April 22nd, 2019, which is a lie. The man claims that basically they're trying to achieve a perfect or an immaculate conception in Italy with a woman named Maria. Doesn't that sound familiar? And then she claims that the doctor is like her father. But long story short, they're claiming they're cloning animals, they're cloning people, They are even going as far as to doing 3 different people, collecting the genetics or the DNA that they want of each person and collectively putting it into one human being. I just can't. It's terrible. So, demons can enter both animals and humans and objects, according to all those horror movies that we see, with dolls and toys and possibly robots and humans and animals. So we've heard a few horror stories about animals. However, I don't remember. I think it was in the Gospels with John, maybe Mark and Luke, possibly, and Matthew as well, probably. I never got this one concept where the demons begged Jesus to send them into the pigs because there was a man that was possessed, and then Jesus sent the legion, because Legion was his name, into the pigs. It was many demons. And the pigs jumped off a cliff and drowned themselves. So that, for the life of me, I could not understand that. And now I get it. The Lord is trying to show us something. So here's one video.
In the light of his secret lab, one of the world's most controversial scientists shows off his creation, cloned human embryos that are genetic carbon copies of their father.
Oh, my babies are doing well. They look beautiful.
Filmed for a TV documentary, Dr. Paniotis Zavos implants 11 of the embryos in 4 women, one of them British, in the hope of producing the first cloned human being. The procedure is a criminal offence in the UK, but not in this undisclosed Middle Eastern country.
I think we have 3 very good embryos that could be in utero today, and that if implantation is successful as well, and the pregnancy is maintained, as we say in the US, we have a home run.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop it right there because I wanna make a point. So I've been watching these people that are really breaking down prophecy. And although they are a tad bit off, as well as myself, because we're all learning together. They have their strong points and I have my strong points. I'm learning from them, but I wish I could give them my knowledge as well. One man claimed that in the book of Daniel, that the child, the Antichrist, would be born in Turkey or some Middle Eastern area. That would be something else if this is what really happened, you know? You can't take the date for real because these people are liars. Although it is in April, and you guys know how I feel about April. So, yeah, I'll get into that on another day, but basically, the Lord talks about seasons because that's how the Israelites and the Hebrew way was. I actually have a really good video that explains the seasons. And basically, the only 2 seasons that they really follow is summer and autumn. And those are the 2 time frames that I really feel like matter the most. I really do feel like the Antichrist will come in April. I do feel like it's this year, upcoming year. But, you know, it's up, you know, I don't know everything. But I do think that this is a very prophetic year. 2020, come on. Also, it is the one calendar that coincides with the Hebrew calendar, the Gregorian calendar, and the Mayan calendar, and all the calendars before it. And they are a prophetic year in every single calendar. So I really do believe that that this is when the Antichrist will begin his reign. Now, my next video, I'm going to be going more into that. But this was just one more politically correct one that I wanted to play for you guys. But I want to link that guy below that talks about the book of Daniel and what he figured out. However, nobody knows the areas, because I always talk about parallels in the Bible, and he talks about that too. God bless him. But he doesn't quite have it figured out yet. Neither do I. However, I do feel like America is the parallel to the Middle Eastern countries. So, take this with a grain of salt, and I love you guys. Stay tuned for my next video.